Hello everyone and welcome to Dune, the game whose introduction is so long that I need to give it its own video. Yeah, this game is based on the Frank Herbert novel and the David Lynch film of the same name, and the first game in the Dune series, even though it doesn't really have to do a whole lot with Dune 2. And Dune 2 was also developed by a completely different company, and the games were actually developed at the same time, but this one here was released first, and from what I've heard, was actually a little bit of a race between the two companies, so it got the title of the first Dune game. It's not an RTS game, it does have strategy elements, but it's more of an adventure management game. But yeah, we'll get into that. For now, let's just get this game started. So we are in our palace on Arrakis. So let's talk to our father, the Duke.
I am the Duke Leto Atreides, your father.
Also, my eyes are looking in two different directions. Yeah, so he's our father, just in case we forgot that. So, talk to me.
My son, we must mine the spice as soon as possible, or the Emperor will recall us from Dune.
That's actually true. You have to mine spice in this game, the most precious substance in the universe. And if you don't mine enough spice and send enough to the Emperor, you'll actually lose, because you're going to get recalled from Arrakis. So this is essentially a gameplay hint. It's also in the manual, but the manual for this game is really slim. I was kind of surprised, because usually these older games, they tend to have very elaborate manuals. But nope, we don't want to go here. Let's instead go here. And nope, don't want to check out the balcony, so let's talk to our father again.
My son, we've spotted 3 troops of Fremen around the palace, and I've sent Gurney Halleck to meet them. He's not returned yet. Go there and see what's keeping Gurney.
Yep, we'll do so. Gurney is essentially an advisor. So for now, let's can't go here, so let's go here. Yeah, the version of this game I'm playing is the Sega CD version. There's also an Amiga and a DOS version, but this one here has slightly different graphics, and there's some additional video material, such as the intro. So I choose to play this version here, and they're not fundamentally different.
I'm your mother, Jessica. The Duke has sent Gurney Halleck to Carthag Tuek. Go outside, take an Orny, and fly there. Hurry up, my son. I sense danger.
Alright, so that's it for now. So let's do just that. And leave the palace. And here is our ornithopter, which is essentially some sort of insect wing flappy helicopter. It's kind of odd that they call it Orny in this game, because in the book and the movie they're mostly called Topters, so they shorten the name, but the variation is a little bit different. So here are 3 Fremen sieges. The Fremen are the natives on this planet here, and they live in these cave cities. And the reason for that is obviously that this is a desert planet, so you can't really live in the desert on the surface. And this is the flight sequence. You can actually skip it if you just want to go to your destination. But what you can also do is you can change destinations mid-flight, and you can discover new locations while you fly this way. So I'm going to skip most of the flights, because they can take a little bit long, and I don't really want you to sit through this all the time, but we may as well watch this one here. It actually looks kind of nice. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as it could with a limited color palette, but for its time, it actually looks pretty sweet. And I know when I saw this the first time, I was actually sort of impressed, so that's something. And it's not always the same sequence. It actually looks different depending on where you are. I'm not sure whether it's randomized or whether there's actually discrete path for wherever you fly to. But yeah, we'll get to that. For now, let's just take our topter. You could also walk, but I don't recommend going out into the desert. You're likely to die. And did I mention that the formation on the map on the left looks like a gigantic fish? Well, now you know. It really looks like a fish, complete with gills and fins and everything. Not sure whether that was intentional, some sort of Easter egg. In any case, so I haven't really talked about the main goal in this game. So it is a management and adventure game. You try to reunite all the Fremen tribes of the natives here, under your rule, and you will have them mine spice, the most precious resource in the universe. And you also need to train an army, but for now we are mainly going to harvest spice because, we can walk out here, but we're not going to do that because, as with most strategy games, it's best to get your economy running first and then build up an army, because we don't really need our army right now, but we do need the spice. So here we have the Fremen chieftain, and we have Gurney. So let's talk to Gurney first.
I'm Gurney Halleck. I've served the Atreides for a long time.
So, talk to him again.
I've just come into contact with the Fremen. The Fremen have always lived in the sands of Dune. They live in sieges so well hidden that no one knows exactly how many there are. I've tried to convince them to work for us. You try, Paul. They may trust you.
Yep. That's actually a plot point, but we can get to that. Yeah, sorry for the graphical glitch here. I'm not really sure what caused it, but it's not really a big deal. So let's talk to him again and
I've
ask
just
him
come into contact with the Fremen. The
to
Fremen have
come with you.
Okay, Paul, I'm going with you.
You can ask that. You can essentially ask everybody that, or all of your allies, but only some of them will come with you. For example, Jessica and your father, they will not come with you. Let's talk to this guy.
We've heard of you. You are the son of the Atreides Duke, and of Jessica, the... Could he be the one?
So he's talking about the One, me being the One. There's actually a Fremen legend that there will be a Messiah who will unite the Fremen and lead them to true freedom. And yeah, maybe it's me. Maybe it is. So talk to... You can basically just say, work for me. Let's talk to him again first.
We Fremen are the original inhabitants of Dune. We've adapted our way of life to the desert.
Now he has nothing to say. That's essentially what they do if they run out of dialogue.
Yes, I agree to let my troops work for you.
Alright, so let's give order to the troops. So here we have the map.
My troop is awaiting your orders.
So you can actually essentially let them do three things. You can specialize them in spies, with essentially the economy, in the army, which you're going to need to fight the Harkonnen later, and in ecology, which is not an option yet. So for now, let's have them harvest spice.
We aren't very used to spice mining. We'll try to learn.
So these guys here, they don't really have special equipment. As you can see, the guy standing there with a shovel. They don't have spice miners. And they don't really have ornithopters to help them transport the spice faster. But maybe later we'll find stuff like that. So for now, let's just leave and check out the other sieges. So let's take the ornithopter.
Select destination.
And let's just fly to the next siege. The Fremen chief mentioned that they're the original inhabitants of Dune. So originally Dune was not inhabited by sapient species. Then the Fremen came, and now there's essentially three groups on Dune. There's the Fremen, the original natives, if you want to call them natives. Then there's basically other people inhabiting Dune. They mostly live in cities. They're more like settlers, really. And then there's whatever noble house controls Dune. And here it works a little bit differently. Here it's the Harkonnen controlling it, and essentially House Atreides being infiltrators of sort. It's not really specified what the Emperor thought by allowing us to be here as well. In the book and the film it's a little bit different. It's essentially one house has a commission to mine on Dune, even though the mining company is owned by several parties, several noble houses and the Emperor. And then the Atreides get this commission. The Harkonnen essentially usurp them, and then Paul fights a guerrilla war against the Harkonnen. In the end, is triumphant. Yeah, if you haven't seen the film or the miniseries for the matter, or read the book, I do recommend actually checking them all out. I like them all. I quite like them all a bit. I would recommend to start with the book and then maybe check out the film or the miniseries. Yeah, I generally like this franchise a lot, not only for its real-time strategy aspect, but also for the books. So now it's nighttime, but that doesn't really matter. You do actually have a time limit in this game, so when you have to send spies to the Emperor from time to time. But yeah, we have some time left, so let's talk to this guy here. Well, let's talk to Gurney again.
Did you notice? All the Fremen we meet have blue eyes. Totally blue. No whites in them. It's linked to saturation of the blood with spice.
Yeah, spice can not only be used to essentially predict the future and help with space travel, but also extends your life and kind of works like a drug, so that's why all Fremen are taking it. Let's talk to this guy here.
I can feel something in you, but I wonder if you will be able to penetrate the secrets of this planet.
I love this guy. So this model is used for a couple of Fremen chieftains. They don't all have individual models, and this guy with this like bold head, the sideburns and the 1970s pawn stash, he just looks amazing. So let's command him around a little bit.
I'm not quite sure that you're able to appreciate our skills yet.
Whatever. Okay, so looks like this guy here doesn't really fancy joining us yet. So let's take an Orni or a Topter
Select destination
and go to Karthag Harak. Or Karthag Harak, whatever. Let's Ornithopter away and skip to the destination. I'm not quite sure about the time, whether the time actually passes faster when you skip. I don't think it does, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to skip most traveling anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So let's talk to this guy again. Do you have to say anything again?
The Fremen seem to be organized into tribes or troops.
That is correct.
It would be best for us to visit the 3 sieges together and then return to the palace and inform the Duke.
Will do. So let's talk to this one here, the Green Fremen chieftain.
We saw you coming from the other siege.
By the way, they also say that if you come from the palace, so this is, yeah, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's a game, and it's a 90s game. They aren't prepared, they don't have dialogue up for absolutely every permutation of events you can have here.
Yes, I agree to let my troops work for you.
I still love this. You essentially just walk into his cave and are like, hey, work for me now.
My
And he just does it.
awaiting your orders.
So let's have them mine spice.
We know a little about spice mining.
Yeah, that's actually an important hint. So these guys here, they will be a little bit more efficient than the other guys. And they will also gain experience over time. So if you have one tribe mine spice from the very beginning, they will become good spice miners later. So for now, let's just go back to the palace and see what our daddy has to say about us recruiting Fremen.
Select destination on map.
Here we go.
Atreides Palace.
You can see our icon is a red falcon. That's actually accurate to the book. In the RTS game, it's a blue falcon and the Harkonnen have the red color. But yeah, by now it's kind of tradition that the brutal faction has, such as the Harkonnen, the Soviets, and the Chinese, but not so much not that they have the red color. It's kind of like at least Westwood / Command & Conquer convention. So here we have Duncan Idaho. So let's talk to him. He is the House Swordsmaster, if I remember correctly.
I'm Duncan Idaho. The Duke asked me to supervise the production of spice.
This guy, he just looks weird. He looks very baby-faced, and then he has this weird... It looks like he has some sort of Batman piece of equipment he has on his head. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about this.
Well, for the moment I haven't much to do. I hope that we'll be able to extract large quantities of spice very soon.
So, I think he can actually give me an update on our spice situation.
If you really want to know about the properties of spice, ask your mother, Jessica.
Don't be so passive-aggressive.
Here are our current stocks of spice.
30 kilograms of spice. I don't think he can come with me.
I can't now. I have some work left here.
Alright. So, I'm not going to talk to you. I like how he's just hanging about this. I mean, he looks a little bit dorky, but I still like this guy.
The spice is mined from the sand of Dune. Spice prolongs life and extends consciousness. It's used by the Guild navigators to travel through space.
The Spacing Guild has the monopoly on interstellar travel, which makes them quite a powerful faction.
I wonder what the proximity of so much spice will do to you, Paul.
All the spice. Yeah, that's actually that's also a plot point, because spice lets you predict the future, which is why guild navigators use it. Because previously, if the spaceships would fold space and jump, there was a about 1 in 8 chance that they would just get destroyed because they might land in a, let's say, an asteroid belt or whatever. But with a spice, that no longer happens. So, and you don't really want to waste a massive space freighter, because these space freighters, they are the size of skyscrapers, at least in the film. In the book, I don't know whether they specify it, but it's still mentioned that they are gigantic.
The Fremen have a special garment which they call a still suit. Wearing this, they can stay in the desert without losing body fluid. It would be advantageous for us to have some of these still suits. I want you and Gurney to go and find some of these suits for us.
Alright, so let's stop talking and let's talk to Gurney.
Oh yes, still suits. Let me remember. And that's it. The Fremen in the siege where we met told me about a still suit maker.
Alright, so let's leave the palace and let's go back to that first siege. And let's take an ornithopter, obviously. So yeah, these still suits, they are body suits that catch all the water you breathe out and sweat out, filter out the salt, then give it back to you. It sounds a little bit sort of mildly gross, but it does mean you can essentially be exposed to the desert environment and almost lose no moisture whatsoever, and that's very important on a desert planet. So let's talk to this guy again.
I thought you looked interested in my still suit.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I know a still suit maker. You will find him if you fly eastward in your Orni. It's not very far, but be sure to fly with someone. Sieges are well hidden and not easy to find.
So?
We're doing spice mining.
Okay, so that's essentially the information we need. So let's fly east. And let's not skip to the destination. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk on a hopter east, not just walk east. That's probably just going to get us killed. So... okay, I'm just... southwest... didn't be... come on, yeah, here we go. Don't know why that was so difficult. And I think when we just fly east, I think at one point Gurney will just mention that there's a siege. But I don't know if we have to change destination in between or whether he's just going to say it, but we'll see. Let's just fly for a moment here and see where this brings us. And you can also change destination in mid-flight, so you don't have to travel to one location and then travel back all the time. You can actually travel, well, you can't really travel completely freely, you still travel in like discrete steps, but you're somewhat free to travel. So, wonder what happens if we do this. Nope. Apparently we're not allowed to do that, so...
Select destination.
Nope. So that wasn't it. I think we just have to wait, probably, until Gurney mentions where we have to go. Oh, there we go.
It
Yeah.
looks like a siege there on the left.
Okay, so we were literally one frame away from the siege anyway, but never mind that. Yeah, I played this game back in the day. I didn't really get it, and I failed miserably. I played it again a while ago and I grasped it a lot better, and also read the manual a lot more carefully, which is kind of short, and I also learned to pay a lot more attention to the hints the game gives you, because it's really good to talk to everybody if you're not familiar with the game. And a lot of stuff they say is actually critical for what you have to do. It's not just fluff in the background. Okay, this is a rather large siege. So yeah, this one is actually pretty large. You can see it's a gigantic cave. There's multiple people walking around. There's staircases and everything. So let's talk to this chieftain here.
Welcome to our siege, Paul Atreides.
Thank you.
So, you want to know about the principles of our still suits. It's good that you're so keen to learn our ways. A still suit is basically a high-efficiency filter. Perspiration passes through the first layer and is gathered in the second. Salt is separated, and the reclaimed water circulates to catch pockets from which you can drink through a tube at your neck. Breathing and walking provide the pumping action. Here are some still suits for both of you, and I'll send some to your palace as well.
Thank you.
I know of 2 more sieges in the vicinity whose leaders would be more than interested in meeting you, Paul Atreides. Travel north and east from here.
Yeah, this is why it's important to exhaust all the dialogue options, because you really want to have as many Fremen sieges under your control as possible.
We've heard of you. You are the son of the Atreides Duke, and of Jessica, the... Could he be the one?
So let's recruit him.
Yes, I agree to let my troops work for you.
Let's give some orders. And let's
We are awaiting your orders.
have them mine spice as well.
I've seen a spice harvester around. There isn't anyone using it. It would be nice to have it.
It would be. So now we have the modify equipment option.
Let me show you the statistics of my troop.
And let's give them the spice harvester.
I'm sure that we'll do a better job with this harvester. Here are the characteristics of my troop.
Yeah, so the spice harvester will actually quintuple your output. So that's a pretty significant change. Let's talk to Gurney again.
Let's visit these 2 new sieges.
We will do so. And so let's leave the cave here. And let's see whether they pop up directly on the map or whether we just have to fly into the general direction. So let's do this.
Select destination on map.
Okay, so we can select them directly. So let's do just that.
Cartown Tower.
And skip that directly. It's nighttime again. Let's talk to this guy here.
So here is this Paul Atreides we've heard about.
He has nothing to say anymore.
Yes, I agree to let my troops work for you.
So let's have them mine some spice.
My troop is awaiting your orders.
And here we go.
The area has to be prospected for spice before we start mining it.
Yeah, this is another aspect of the mining process. Some areas are not prospected, so you have to prospect them before you can harvest any spice, but it's not like everybody can do that. You need, what do we have here? Oh, that's just going to the north. So you need to have specialized guys to actually be able to prospect the area. And there's different areas with different amount of spice. Some of them are very spice rich, so it makes more sense to have guys mine spice there. Other ones not so much. So you have to make choices where you actually want to have what Fremen troops mine what.
So here is this Paul Atreides we've heard about.
Absolutely, yeah, this guy here, he looks kind of like the other guy, but his hair looks even weirder. He does have sideburns, but he doesn't have the pawn stash. So they have some variety in here, and I kind of like it. Overall, the models actually look pretty decent. I've seen a lot worse. And the main character, Paul, he actually looks like Kyle MacLachlan, whatever he's called, who plays Paul Atreides in the David Lynch film. Even though a lot of other characters, they look completely different.
Yes, I agree to let my troops work for you.
Alright, so let's have you mine more of my sweet, sweet
My troop
spice.
is awaiting your orders.
So, here we go.
The area has to be prospected for spice before we
Yep,
start.
unfortunately, no spice mining here. So, let's just leave the siege for now. Actually, let's talk to Gurney again.
I suspect the existence of a troop of prospectors. Well, there has to be one.
That's one pixelated background.
I'm convinced such a troop is nearby, probably in one of these already prospected sietches.
So, let's take an ornithopter and let's find set prospectors. Yeah, I know it's this one here because that's the one who didn't want to work for you. And I've also played this game before. I haven't played it all the way through actually. But yeah, I know so much, so this is not really all that much of a surprise. And the other ones are already working for you, so it's kind of obvious you have to talk to this guy here.
We had heard rumors that you might call on our services. Prospecting for spice is a dangerous and a skillful job.
So, let's talk to him again.
Well, you're talking to the right person. My troop specializes in spice prospecting. I'm sure we're the only Fremen troop who are able to do this.
Good thing you just happen to be right around here. So,
We
let's
had heard rumors.
recruit him.
Good to see that our knowledge is appreciated. Yes, Paul Atreides, we will work for you.
Okay, and let's have specialized in spies too.
My troop is awaiting your orders. We're unbeatable in spice prospecting. Here, I have something you may find interesting. Here, take this map of the planet.
So this is the planet map, and here we have different areas with a different density of spice. The darker the color, the better the spiceman area is. And if it's a gray area, the area has to be prospected before we can mine it. As you can see, the areas attached to those two new sieges, they are gray, so they have to be prospected, as we already knew.
You can update this map as we send back information to you.
All right. Does he have anything more to say?
We are the spice prospectors. We have already been here for many days.
So, I think that's all you can do for us now. So, oh yeah, Prospector Chief. So now I have to move him to those other sieges
We are the spice prospectors. We have all.
to prospect those other ones.
We are the spice prospectors.
Oh yeah,
We
move
have-
troop. That's the right command.
Show me 3 sieges where you want me to go.
You want to go to this one here, and to this one here, and that should be it. Here we go.
Okay.
So those areas will eventually turn into spice harvestable areas. And I think that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time where we mine even more spice. Thanks for watching, and see you then.